Imagine living your life as usual, and suddenly, everything around you feels different. Maybe it's the arrangement of objects, a sensation in the air, or even the way people behave. Believe it or not, this could be a sign that you've literally jumped into another reality. Sounds strange, but what if I told you that, according to quantum physics, parallel realities coexist all the time, and you could be shifting from one to another without even noticing? Want to find out if you've experienced one of these jumps? Stick with me until the end of this video, and I'll show you some remarkable signs that might be happening in your life right now. Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your current reality is just one version among infinite possibilities? According to quantum physics, this concept isn't as far-fetched as it seems. The theory of parallel realities proposes that, for every decision you make, a new version of yourself is created, living a reality slightly or completely different from yours. Imagine that with every thought, emotion, or action, you're literally opening a door to a new world. And the most fascinating part? These transitions are so subtle that most of the time, they go unnoticed. But what if I told you that you could consciously start noticing these changes? Wouldn't that change everything? These realities coexist like invisible layers, all connected by the thin thread that is your consciousness. In each of them, your life follows a different path, depending on the choices you make. Have you ever caught yourself wondering how your life would be if you had made a different decision years ago? That's the beauty of the concept of parallel realities. Your current reality isn't fixed, and the way you feel, the thoughts you cultivate, and the actions you take daily can move you to a new timeline. It's almost like a movie where, without realizing it, you have the power to change the script. Interestingly, many of us have already experienced small glimpses of these reality shifts. You know when something around you seems slightly different, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is. Like a detail in the scenery of your life has been altered without warning. Some might call this déjà vu. Others, perhaps, a memory glitch. But what if it's something much bigger? What if it's a sign that you're moving between different versions of the universe without even realizing it? That feeling of strangeness sometimes is the subtle hint that you've already taken the first step toward a new reality. But what happens when these transitions start to intensify? Often, the key to noticing these changes lies in paying attention to the small details of everyday life. Small shifts can be like echoes from an alternate reality, and this brings us to the question: how many times have you gone through an experience and wondered if things could have been different if you had taken another path? These parallel realities show us that the universe is a field of infinite possibilities. The real question is, how can we start consciously navigating between these realities, shaping our destiny? Have you ever had that strange feeling that something around you seems different, even though everything appears to be in the same place? Like the world around you has slightly adjusted, but you can't exactly pinpoint what changed. This type of experience could be more than just a fleeting impression. Some believe that this feeling is a reflection of you moving between different parallel arcs. It may sound surreal, but think about it. Your perception of reality is shaped by your senses and your consciousness. And when your consciousness shifts, your perception of the world adjusts as well. And that, in itself, could be the first clue that you're in a new timeline. This subtle change in perception often catches us by surprise. It's like when you visit a familiar place and suddenly something seems off. Maybe an object you were sure was in another spot, or a color that seems to have changed shade. But what if these small details aren't memory glitches? What if they're clues that you're navigating through different realities? Quantum physics suggests that the universe is a field of vibrations, and when your vibrational frequency changes, you can literally begin to perceive a new version of reality. Isn't that fascinating to consider? It's intriguing to think that our consciousness could be so flexible as to allow us to move through these realities. And the most intriguing question is, how many times have we shifted realities without noticing? Perhaps what we call coincidences or déjà vu are actually cracks in time-space that show us we are, in some way, experiencing a new version of the universe. I remember a time when a friend told me about a trip he took to a place he had been to before. When he arrived, he felt as if the place had changed, as if it wasn't exactly the same as his memories. Could it be that he had unknowingly crossed into a new reality? If you pay close attention, you might start to notice these small shifts too. Every choice, every emotion, every thought you have could be guiding you toward a new perception of the reality around you. Sometimes it's just a feeling, an intuition that something has changed, as if the universe has slightly rotated and you've adjusted to a new frequency. And then the question that lingers is, how can we use these shifts in perception to become active co-creators of our own reality? Consciousness is a fascinating and mysterious element. It not only gives us the ability to perceive the world around us, but also to shape it. Imagine that every choice you make, no matter how simple it seems, has the power to completely alter the timeline you're on. When you decide to follow one path instead of another, for example, you're directing your energy and vibrational frequency to a new reality. It's as if, at every moment, the quantum field around you is reconfiguring to reflect your decisions. And the most surprising part? It all starts within you, in your consciousness. If we reflect on how much our daily decisions impact our journey, it becomes clear that consciousness plays a co-creative role. It's the central point of everything. Universal laws teach us that what we focus on expands, and this couldn't be truer when we talk about parallel realities. By raising your vibrational frequency, you literally begin to attract a new version of reality to yourself. And it's not just about positive thinking, but about active and present consciousness. The famous law of attraction is directly connected to this. But how would it be then if we made more conscious decisions, more aligned with what we want to manifest? Consciousness not only guides your choices, but it also determines how you perceive the opportunities that arise. Have you noticed how some people seem to attract incredible experiences, while others seem stuck in repetitive cycles? The difference often lies in the level of consciousness each person is operating at. When you start seeing yourself as a co-creator of your own reality, doors begin to open in surprising ways. You start noticing synchronicities, events that seem perfectly orchestrated by the universe to guide you to where you need to be. Consciousness is the key to accessing this field of infinite. But, of course, this journey requires responsibility. The more you expand your consciousness, the more you realize that your actions and thoughts create ripples that affect the universe around you. It's not just about what you think, but about how you align with these vibrations. So, the question remains, how can we become more conscious of every decision And how can that radically transform our reality? Perhaps it's time to look within and understand the true power our consciousness has in creating our future. Transitions between different realities happen so subtly that most of the time we pass through them without even noticing. It's curious to think that our small choices and changes in thinking can place us in a new timeline, where certain aspects of life take slightly different directions. Have you ever reflected on that moment when something unexpected happens? Perhaps an opportunity that comes out of nowhere, or an obstacle that inexplicably disappears. These are examples of how these transitions can have a direct impact on our existence. Although they are often imperceptible at certain moments, these changes are so striking that it feels as if the world around us has adjusted in an almost magical way. These changes can manifest in various ways, from the feeling that something is different to deeper transformations, such as changes in our personal relationships, or even in how we see ourselves. One day, you might wake up with a new perception of your life, feeling more connected to your mission, to your essence. This is the power of transitions between parallel realities. They challenge our perceptions and force us to question the nature of the reality we inhabit. Expanding consciousness allows us to notice these nuances, making us more sensitive to life's subtleties. The interesting thing is that many times these transitions push us out of our comfort zone. When that happens, it can be challenging. It may seem like the universe is testing your resilience, putting obstacles in your path. However, these moments of discomfort are actually opportunities for growth. It is in these moments that we are invited to adjust our energetic vibration, align our frequency with a higher reality, and take control of our own destiny. And when you realize the impact of these transitions, you begin to see life from a new perspective, understanding that you have the power to shape your own experience. But how does all this apply in daily life? The key lies in presence, being present in each moment, carefully observing the opportunities and challenges that arise, allows you to navigate these changes with more clarity. It's not about controlling every detail, but about being aware of the choices you make and the energies you emit. And with this new perception, the question is, how far are you willing to let these transitions positively impact your life? How many times have you looked around and felt that something was slightly out of place, but couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was? That feeling that small details have changed may be a sign that you transitioned between realities without realizing it. The changes can be subtle: a misplaced object, a conversation that took an unexpected tone, or even a sudden sense of clarity. The fact is, these small discrepancies can be clear signs that your consciousness is navigating different dimensions of the quantum field. When we start paying more attention to these signs, we become more sensitive to the subtleties of everyday life. It could be something as simple as finding an item you were sure you had lost, or reconnecting with someone you hadn't heard from in years. These events, which may seem like mere coincidences at first glance, are often indications that we are experiencing a new version of reality. The question is, how can we develop this awareness? The answer lies in the constant practice of observing, without judgment, the small changes around us. And don't think these transitions only happen during major life decisions. Often, they occur in the most mundane details of life. It could be a trivial choice, like taking a different route to work, or even a subtle change in your morning routine. The fact is, these decisions, no matter how small, carry immense potential to lead us to alternate realities. The universe responds to our vibration, and it is this energetic vibration that adjusts the course of our experience. But what should you do when these changes become more noticeable? How do you deal with the feeling that something has shifted in your life? The first thing to do is to embrace that feeling. Instead of resisting or ignoring it, try to see these changes as opportunities. Sometimes, a small change can be the first step toward a larger transformation. And the question that remains is, are you ready to notice the nuances of the universe around you and embrace these changes as an opportunity for conscious co-creation? Memories, like reality itself, are more malleable than we can imagine. What you believe to be a fixed memory may, in fact, adjust and change as you transition between different realities. Have you ever had the sensation that something you clearly remembered now seems slightly different? This happens because, as you move between timelines, your memories also adapt to the new vibrational frequency you are in. The brain, with its incredible plasticity, is constantly reorganizing itself, creating new neural connections that align with your new perception of reality. This malleability is one of the most fascinating characteristics of the human mind. While this may sometimes confuse us, it also offers an incredible opportunity for growth. If your memories can change, it means that your perception of who you are and what you've experienced can also be transformed. It's a chance to rewrite your own narrative, to free yourself from traumas or difficult situations that still weigh on your energy in some way. With the expansion of consciousness, you can consciously adjust the memories you choose to carry with you in the different versions of reality you explore. And we're not just talking about past memories. Brain plasticity also affects how you perceive the present. This means that by altering your energetic vibration, you change the way you experience the now. This directly reflects how you interpret what's happening around you and, of course, how those interpretations shape your future memories. Science has already shown that our memories are not perfect records of events, but recreations based on our emotions and perceptions. And what if you could choose how to remember the most important moments of your life? From this understanding arises an important question. If your memories are so flexible, how can you ensure that you're creating memories that uplift you, rather than trapping you in limiting realities? The key is to learn how to tune in to the higher frequencies of energetic vibrate. The more you expand your consciousness and align with positive energies, the more your memories reflect this new reality. And then, when you look back, you will realize that even the most difficult experiences take on new meaning, as if they were catalysts for your spiritual awakening. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever experienced a moment of crisis or imminent danger where it felt like something almost magical prevented the worst from happening? As if an invisible force had intervened at the last second, changing the course of events. These near-miss experiences, these unexpected twists, could be signs that you've shifted realities, jumping to a new timeline. In these sudden transitions, the continuity of what seemed inevitable is broken, leading you to a new version of your story. These moments, which often go unnoticed in the hustle and bustle of daily life, are evidence that our reality is more fluid than we think. What seemed like a sure path to chaos suddenly transforms into an opportunity for growth. Maybe you've experienced an inexplicable sense of relief, as if you'd just escaped a much worse situation. And of course, it's in these moments of emotional vulnerability that the quantum field reacts most intensely to our vibration, adjusting our reality. But why does this happen in moments of high risk or emotion? The explanation lies in our consciousness. When we are emotionally involved, our energetic vibration peaks, and it's in this state that our ability to co-create reality intensifies. It's no coincidence that in these moments you feel like something bigger is acting in your life. The truth is, the more you open yourself to these possibilities, the more you realize that you have the power to shape your reality, even in the most tense moments. So, how can we prepare for these breaks in continuity? The key is to cultivate a practice of self-awareness so that we can recognize these moments and seize them as opportunities for transformation. Instead of fearing sudden changes, we should see them as reminders that we are in constant connection with the universe, always ready to create the reality we desire. And have you thought that at any moment you could be about to take a leap into a new reality? When we talk about co-creating reality, it's fascinating to realize that we are more than mere spectators in the story of our lives. We are the authors, the directors, and the protagonists. As you become aware of the transitions occurring, you begin to understand that your choices and thoughts play a crucial role in shaping your future. It's as if every decision, even the simplest ones, is a brushstroke on the universe's canvas, coloring your reality in ways you might not imagine. Have you ever stopped to reflect on the impact of your intentions? When you set out to be an active co-creator, your energetic vibration becomes a powerful force in the quantum field. It's as if you're sending signals to the universe, not just through words, but primarily through your emotions and actions. You know that feeling that the universe conspires in your favor when you're aligned with your goals? This isn't mere coincidence. It's the manifestation of the law of attraction in action, showing how your focus and awareness shape the reality around you. Personally, I used to think things happened by chance, that I had no control over what was happening in my life. But then, during a conversation with a friend, I realized that everything was interconnected. He told me about how small daily choices can have a big impact on the future. And from that moment, I started paying more attention to my decisions. What I ate, how I felt when I woke up, even the words I chose. All of that started making a difference. You can also start noticing these nuances. What makes you feel good? What empowers you? What resonates with your essence? Thus, co-creation is not a passive process. It is a call to action, to align yourself with what you truly desire. By nurturing awareness and making decisions that reflect your values and aspirations, you align yourself with the cosmos. So, how about taking a step further and asking yourself, what can I do today that will shape my tomorrow? What choices will you make now that will resonate in the future? After all, every moment is an opportunity to create the reality you desire. If you've made it this far, you're probably already starting to question, have I already changed reality? And more importantly, what can I do with this knowledge? The truth is, you have the power to shape your own destiny, to co-create your reality and vibrate at a frequency that attracts what you truly desire. Now that you understand the signs that a quantum leap may be happening in your life, the question remains, What will you do with it? How will you use this universal wisdom to create the life you've always wanted? Before you go, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep receiving this kind of powerful content. Leave a like and don't forget to watch the video that will appear on the end screen because it complements everything we've talked about here today. See you in the next video. Thank you so much for your presence and see you then.